It will fold down flat for easy mailing. I absolutely love this fun fold. I'm going to be doing more with it. All right, so today I am working with the Sweetest Star bundle from the mini catalog. It is on page 47 of the current mini. You can see you can get the stamp set, you can get the punch, and honestly, it's the punch that has this bundle going on low inventory. So if you think you like it, think quickly, get it in your cart today. I love punch bundles. I love this star. I love it when it's a 3D star. So here is what we're making with the Sweetest Star bundle. It is an adorable wreath featuring lots of punch outs from the star. Now, what makes it really easy is that this is a punch, not a die cut, so it's going to go rather quickly. I have one of the featured characters from the Sweetest Star bundle. This one has the Santa. I am going to be demonstrating with the Mrs. Claus. Oops, looks like I'm going to need to grab a couple other colors. And I'm going to share with you how I created this. You can see it's like a 3D effect when you score and fold the stars, and very simple to make. So let me get started. Here's what you're going to need. So the foundation of the wreath, I am using a chipboard. This is the backing from one of my specialty paper packs. I'm going to cut it easily into a circle, and the way I did this, I used a salad plate, perfect size, right? And I just drew my circle in one of the corners. Very simple. This comes out to be about 8 inches maybe. Okay, so draw your circle, and you are going to cut and just trace around the circle, right? To cut through, because we need a ring, not just a circle. So I turned it into this. You can see it's not pretty. How I got to the center, I took my take your pick tool. I put it on my glass mat. I used my X-Acto knife tool and just made a giant X right through the center of the circle. And that'll get you to poke through and cut. Let's see if I've got my scissors handy. I can share with you how I did that. So take your paper snips. Actually, I did use larger scissors. So this will punch through, cut all the way up, and you're going to cut on the outer line, pencil line, and then you're going to cut up to about 1 inch. So you're going to have about a 1 inch ring. I did pre-do this so that you wouldn't have to watch. Let me put the grid paper back. You can see it's about 1 inch wide all the way around. So that is the foundation for our wreath. Then I also needed my cardstock, and here's what I'm using. I'm going to be punching about 4 stars of my colors, and I've got basic black, I've got garden green, crumb cake, and I'm using a designer series paper. This is from the Rich Regals pack. Let me share. I thought I had them available right here. Pretty awesome. These are on sale. So you get a sampling of the Regal colors, which includes garden green, also includes real red, and you can save on this through Friday. It comes out to $10. Now, if you want to go with Christmas designs, you can use the Take a Bow designer series paper from the mini catalog. I thought this would be a really pretty pattern as well, with the little stars, garden green background as well. This one, however, is not included in the sale. It's $12.50, still a great deal. So you can choose which pattern you would like to use. I went with the Regals from the annual catalog. So I need that. I need some scrap of basic white. We're going to be stamping, coloring, and punching. And then I just needed a little scrap of basic white as well. And to create the cute little jolly that goes on Santa. I used the mini alphabet dies. I'm going to share with you how I created that as well. So let's get started with the stars. As I said, I'm going to put this right here so you can see. I used 4 of each color, so very easy. Take the Sweetest star punch. You are just going to punch 4 of each color. So trust me, I'm not going to prep every star in front of you, but I want you to get the gist of how to create it. Thank you, Sandy, and I apologize for the noise from the punch. It's noisy, right? So we need 4 garden green, we need 4 crumb cake, 4 basic black, and I'm going to put that aside. I've already pre-done some of them. I also need 4 of my designer series paper. So I'm just going to come right in and punch. And again, this is from the annual catalog, so it's included in the sale. You get, I think it's 48 sheets for $10. So easily, I punched out 4. Now my next step, once I have punched them, I am going to want to score them. So this is the key to making it a 3D star. You just need to score, and I'll show you how I did it. I will take my trusty trimmer, cut Stampin' trimmer, and I am going to score. So I'm going to push the cutting blade out of the way. I just want my scoring blade, and this is a little bit lighter than the cardstock. So I will tell you, because if I have 4 colors prints and I need 4, I need 16 stars, all right? I'm going to do the quick math. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I don't want to score each star separately. I'm always looking for a shortcut. So especially for the designer series paper, I found I can score through 2 layers. I'm going to put the tip of the star to the end of a star on the track. I'm going to close that down, and I'm going to score. And it's kind of hard to judge the pressure. Do not press too hard. And this is why I'm getting away with 2 on the pattern paper. If I do 1, the paper may cut because it's lighter weight than the cardstock. You can also double up on the cardstock stars as well. So that cuts your scoring in half, right? Because you can see I have to keep rotating the star to each peak. So it's a 5-point star. Each one's going to have 5 scores. And this is a great project to work on while you're watching TV or listening to a book or something, because it's just requires no thinking. You're just doing step repetition. Whoops, I have to do 2 more. Let me go ahead and get those done. Then, again, I'm just putting the peak and then the other end of the stars on the track, and I'm rotating. I should have also warned you, this is a dimensional intensive project, and you're going to see why in just a second. I have my black dimensionals, my standard dimensionals, and my mini dimensionals ready for this project. I just need 1 more. Okay. Okay, so we have scored all the stars. I'm going to bring in the garden green stars, and I'm going to get my bone folder. Now I'm going to fold and burnish on each line. Now, honestly, for the designer series paper, you might just need to fold and use your fingers. For the cardstock, I would recommend using the bone folder. And so you see what I mean about this being like a mindless task. You can be doing some movie watching while you're crafting. So we're going to have 5 lines to score per star. Let's see if I can even double up. I didn't try this beforehand. I think so. It'll work. I'm always looking to cut corners on my time for something like this. There we go. Did you notice this little Sweetest star bundle in the catalog? I looked at it when I first received the catalog. It was not on my first order. But this, as I said, I love a punch bundle. So punch bundles are usually make their way to my cart. All right, so one more. Folding it in half. And the other punch bundle that is adorable is the Humble Home bundle. And I will say that bundle is also not available currently, because of the punch. I think it's supposed to be back in stock early December. So you will have a chance to get it before Christmas crafting. So that should give you enough time to create some of the projects with that adorable bundle as well. All right, so I've got my 4 pattern stars. Now here's the thing. To make it 3D, what I like to do is take the peak of the star. I'm going to fold up mountain all the way around. So you can see this is going to give that star the shape. And when you put it down, you can see, so it goes mountain, valley. And if you train it, they will come out looking a lot nicer. So the key is to train your stars, right? There. Hello, Pam. Welcome in. I love this bundle as well. I hope I remember. If you wait till the end, I'm going to share with you a card made that I received featuring this bundle. It came from Stamperista Pam for this month's swap with the team, and it is absolutely adorable. So this punch bundle is great for home decor and for the cards. That's what makes the punches extra special. It's so easy to create texture and interest on your projects. So there you go. There are my 4 pattern stars. Now, the next step, we are going to take each of the stars and we're going to add dimensionals to them. So here we go. So I said I had my black dimensionals, my standard dimensionals, and my minis at the ready. Here we go. So flip the stars over. You are so welcome, Pam. Pam is a beautiful card maker. Her swaps every month are a treasure. And that's one of the reasons I always participate in the swap, because I have that fear of missing out with a great card. So many special designs. And it's nice because it switches it up from my style. Okay, so you can see I put 1, right? Now I'm going to remove the backing because we are going to be stacking these dimensionals several times. So 1, this is layer 2. And I'm going to remove the backing again because we're going to go on to layer 3. And you could probably get away with fewer stacked dimensionals than I'm doing, but I think the height is the key to these stars and the dimension. So that's 3, and I'm going to keep going 1 more. So for the majority of my stars, I put 4 dimensionals, and you could probably do 3s and 4s if you vary them a little bit. That way your wreath will have lots of dimension to it. And there we go. So I'm going to leave those closed as it is, and I'm not going to make you watch me add dimensionals to all those. Now remember I said I cut 4 crumb cake as well, but look what I did. I punched the star and then I stamped with the little snowflake stamp, and I use the Wow white embossing powder to add little snowflakes to my crumb cake stars. And you can see I already added the dimensionals back there. And then I have my garden green as well with dimensionals on the back. So 4 of those. And then here we go. For the black ones, I added the black dimensionals. And I like that black backing because it kind of blends in. It's camouflage, right? Okay, so let's take care of that. Next, we're going to assemble the wreath. You could do the other stamping and crafting, but if you are like me, I need to deal with some of the materials before they start walking. My things often grow little legs and just walk into another area of my crafting. So having said that, I'm going to kind of lay out my stars, and I may have extra, maybe not. I want to at least have a triangle point with my black. So as with decorating, it's nice to always have some kind of black in your project or your decor. So then, and I'm just going to kind of gauge how I want to arrange these. So some come up, some come back. So let's put a green one here. And it's kind of like flower arranging. So we're going to kind of just repeat our patterns, or not. You can mix them up. I just want to make certain that I have my stars spread. I don't want to run out of stars. And then a quick look. So I've got 3. I need another. So let's go with another pattern. Let's see. So now I've got a lot of pattern going on here if I move them around. So it's kind of like the puzzle, right? Let's see. How let's see. I've got a lot of green going on down here. So let's switch some of these up. Maybe if I move that way. Oh my gosh. All right. It's not going to be critical. I'm going to start adhering. So I'm okay because this one, although I've got back-to-back pattern, I am going to be putting my character in there as well. So that's going to break up the pattern. It'll be okay. So having done that, I'm going to start adhering. I'm just going to remove the dimensional and pop that up. Some of them go under, some of them go over. Just break up the pattern. I don't want to waste those little stars though. I want to make sure you can see them. It's not the stars, the snowflakes. There. And I'm trying also to make sure that my ring is covered. So here's where the problem is, right? Let me move this. So now I've got a pattern right here. There we go. That's better. It all works out. And I'm also trying to make sure that I've got my dimension on my stars. And this is why we've quadruple stacked those dimensionals to add the height. And I'm going to have a little bit of space in here. This star punch is the key to your project. It's the star of the project. And it makes a stinking cute sugar cookie as well. I'm going to be sharing that card with you. I don't want to forget to bring that up. All right, then, oh, we're running into trouble again here. Let's see. Here. And here. And I've got 2 there. Don't want that. Here we go. I've got another green right here. There we go. I'll push those aside. Looks like I've got some extra. Okay, so I've got my wreath generally done. I'm going to put that aside. We're going to bring in our little character. And as I said, this time I'm going to use the Mrs. Claus stamp. And this is the first time I have used the Mrs. Claus stamp. I have mounted it on a D block, but I haven't stamped with it. So here's what I'm going to do. The photopolymer sometimes needs a little bit of help with the first use. I like to take my eraser and just kind of erase over the photopolymer image. That will help it grab the ink, and I should get a better inking. This is photopolymer, so I'm going to add my Pierce mat, and I'm going to be stamping on one of my scraps, my scrap of white, and I'm going to be using Tuxedo Black ink, and this looks a little bit different than your Memento pad might, because I took a craft pad and just inked it up with Memento Black. So I'm going to stamp away. Make sure it's nice and inked and stamp down. Now I just know that when I flip the punch over, I've got the 2 points almost like she's standing. So that's how I want to stamp as well. It's a little bit more difficult if you start rotating the image, because it makes punching a little bit more challenging. So before I punch, I want to color Mrs. Claus. And I'm going to start with her real red dress and apron. I'm using blends, which are included in the sale. So you want to jump on saving for the blends. And it's a good time to restock if they're either going dry, or, as what happens with my blends, the brush tip tends to fray, and it makes coloring a little bit more challenging, as does the wide tip. So sometimes I might switch it out to my pencil tip or my pen tip to come in the little detail. So as I said, I'm giving her a real red dress. And I didn't go around that ruffle very well, but I'm going to use my pen tip to come in, my fine point tip to color in a little bit better. There we go. So this little star cookie would make a cute sugar cookie as well, right? She could be inked up on crumb cake as well. All right, so let me do her bib. As I said, I'm going to use my pen tip to come in a little bit closer with the ruffles, because I'm not going to be coloring the ruffles. They would be white. At least my Mrs. Claus would be wearing a white ruffle. You can color her however you like, maybe a green dress, but I just feel like her little uniform matches up with Santa Claus's. So you can see I can get in a little bit closer with the pen tip here. And for display purposes, the wreath might be a little bit small, but I can see creating a trio of them and hanging them like at different levels. Might be a fun display. Would be fun to decorate a desk cabinet, or I know, a cubby or mailbox. And almost done with her dress. The ruffle is going to be white, so I'm not going to be adding any color there. I am going to color her face and her hands, and for that I am using the 800 neutral blend. So with the neutrals or the naturals, the larger the number, the lighter the color. So the 1000 would be light, the 100 would be darker. So I'm giving her a skin tone, kind of like mine, maybe a little bit lighter, but it's okay. Adding her face, and then I'm going to give her brown hair. Let me grab my brown. So I am using the dark crumb cake for her hair. And I'm using the pen tip. You could, of course, make her blonde. You could make her dark-haired. Whatever you imagine. I think she's super cute. How about some shoes? I think she's wearing black shoes, right? Oops, I had already colored her feet in skin tone, but I don't want her barefoot. I want her wearing black shoes. There you go. There's Mrs. Claus. And you know what? I think I want her to have a red apron with the ruffles. So let me color that in. I'm going to start off with the pen tip. There we go. Much better. And I think I need to come in a little bit tighter on her. All right, so we're almost done with Mrs. Claus here. I'm going to punch her just like I did with the other stars. So I'm going to bring in the star punch and just go ahead and have a slight border. There we go. There's Mrs. Claus. And you know me, I like to eliminate this before I even lose it. So I'm going to put her here. And let's see, my other stars were 4 stacked, right? I'm going to make Mrs. Claus 5 stacks so she stands up just a little bit higher. So that's 3, 4, and then 5. And I'm going to put her here. Push her down just a little bit. And the wreath is coming along. Next, we are going to do the same as we did with Santa. And I'm going to do a nice big jolly. And I'm going to show you how I created that. Whoops. Let's go back. So to create the jolly, I used my mini alphabet die. So I'm going to get every single letter in the alphabet on the one die. Let me move this aside. I love this because it will go through the mini. And my sandwich is going to be the platform number 3, a cutting pad. How about some paper? Some basic black paper. And I'm going to just run this through. Oops. Make sure my die doesn't move on me. And crank it through. And I do have a tip on the mini alphabet die. With a lot of the intricate dies, what starts to happen is they don't release very easily. Some of them do released very easily right on my cutting pad. All right, so then next, oh, I see. Yeah, it worries me that the ones in the center didn't cut quite, so I'm going to run that through again. And let's do that. So if you need your intricate dies to release from the die, a nice thing to do every once in a while is run the die through with wax paper. And I'm looking here, I don't need any of those letters. I'm gonna put those aside. And I recently did that with this die, which is why the letters are being released very easily. I know I need that J, so I'm gonna pick the letters that I need, just the ones I want. To release these, you could also just run the entire die through with my take your pick tool, the brush. Just put the die cut right onto the foam that you do receive with the brush. Look how easily they pop out. And if you're struggling with the release, try the wax paper tip. All right, so I need my O, I need 2 L's, there's 1. Now I need my Y. You push the others aside, and I'm searching for my other L. There we go. So jolly, right? So I always have, you can see the take your pick, I have 2 of the main tools. Then I always need my piercing tool. I use my X-Acto on one and the brush on another. These are accessories. They don't come with the basic take your pick, but they are very handy for crafting. Then I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to bring in another piece of basic white scrap. And did you see how I did the jolly on the bend? So the jolly is laid out on a curve. The way I achieved that, I took my ribbon bolt and a pencil, and all I did was draw a little curve there. That helps me with the rotation. And I'm going to start with my center letter. So Jolly, right? 2, 4, 5. So the center letter is going to be an L. I'm going to grab my tweezer tool and my favorite adhesive. Finally, I couldn't get a project done without my favorite adhesive. Okay, and I'm going to be very careful to just put little dots behind. Oh, I should have cleared out my glue. So usually just a tap will release that little glue supply, but oops, a little more came out than I wanted. And I'm going to put this down, center of the curve, secure it down, and I'm going to work from the center out. So next letter I'm going to do is O. Oh, I hear my hound. It's time for him to secure the premises, right? Okay, then again, I'm working from the center out. This is one of my favorite alphabet dies. One, you get all the letters in one shot, and they're just a perfect size for card projects. You could use them as well for scrapbooking, like titles and subheadings. And you get multiples of the often used letters, like the vowels and such. So, all right. And you can see how I'm using the curve that I drew using my ribbon bolts. And you know, I know that that is Fergus. I can tell his voice, and I know his habit. All right, there we go. So there's my jolly. I've set that in, and I am a fan of the outline letters. The first thing I'm going to do is erase between here. Oh, you know, it's not even critical. I'm not going to take that step. I'm not going to take the time to do it because I'm going to be cutting around it anyway. So let me come in, and I'm going to leave like, I don't know, maybe it's like a 1/16 of an inch border around my letters. I'm going to come in nice and tight, and I'm going to curve where the letters curve and come up in between the letters and move my paper. And I think just the outline itself makes it a little bit jollier. I think it's pretty cute. It's a cute effect, the outline. Let me get rid of some of that. And I'm going to come in nice and deep between the Y and the L. There we go. And so there are several greens that you could use for your stars. I chose the garden green. The granny apple green would also be bright and festive. And the old olive would be another pick. So many greens with Stampin' Up, right? That you have choices. Sort of like if you like a bright decor or a more traditional classic, it's your choice. The crumb cake could be subbed out with pecan pie as well. That would be another neutral to use. All right, so there we go. And I do see a little bit of pencil line, so I'm going to go bring back that eraser and see if I can get rid of that pencil line. All right, so now this is going to go on to Mrs. Claus, and I'm going to add a couple of mini dimensionals behind the L and the Y just to pop up as well. So let's see if I can fish back my minis. And the mini dimensionals are the perfect size for these letters. And another. All right, so now I'm going to just kind of pop that on there. Remember, she's on about 5 dimensionals, so she's got a little bit of height around those stars. Let's bring in more black, because remember, black always makes the project nice and grounded. And for the black ribbon, I'm using the black and white Very Vanilla gingham, and I'm tying a nice big bow. Let's see, an easy bow. I should do a Nikki bow with the 2 bunny ears, but I'm handicapped with that bunny ear bow. I know they come out perfect for some people every time. All right, and let me trim that off. I'm going to bring in ribbon scissors. That makes a nice clean cut. And I am going to add this behind Mrs. Claus. So I'm just going to kind of tweak it how I like it. I can push it a little bit further. I like it there. And to hold it in place, I'm going to bring in mini glue dots. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to grab a couple of dots, one at a time. So I'm just going to lift, put that right underneath. Very easy. And this is where you can train your loops, train your ribbon however you like. Put that glue dot on there to make it stay the way you want it to. I'm going to bring that down a little bit. All right, we're almost there. Now to hang, I'm going to just use a piece of the jute. This comes in the In Colors from the previous year. I think it's a nice sturdy twine. And to get it straight, I just use my fingernail to kind of straighten it out. And of course, it's not straightening too much. I guess I wasn't using enough force. So don't be afraid to pinch it a little bit tighter. And you want to have probably at least, I don't know, 12 inches. So that way you can have a little bit of give for where you want to hang this. So all I did was bring it through the top and pull that through all the way. And to make it stick, I'm going to flip over and I'm going to do a loop. There must be a special name for this kind of knot. I don't know what it is. These two strands come right through the center of the loop, and I'm going to push the knot tight. And then I'm just going to hide it behind. Whoops, that little blue is not staying because I didn't take off the backing. Tricky. Well, it's convenient anyway because that gives me a little bit of space to maneuver this through. And here we go. So there's Mrs. Claus as well. And again, you could also loop up at the top, or just keep it until you are ready to decorate. So there's Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus, and you could even do one with the little sugar cookie. And I promise if you stay till the end, I would show you the adorable card I received in my swaps. This was created by Pam. She embossed the sugar cookies with the little cookie, I guess the gingerbread character. And she also embossed the little sentiment there on my favorite embossing folder from this year, the plaid embossing folder. And look, she used crumb cake as well and pecan pie in the real red. Super cute cards you can make with this Sweetest Star bundle, or the home decor that you can create with the Sweetest Star bundle. Remember, it is on low inventory, so if you were even thinking about this bundle, click over, do your shopping, add your cardstock, your inks, and your designer series paper to your order. I would love it if you shop with me. If you do shop with me, use this host code. It's 2XG9D3CF. And I will shoot out the November Fun Fold tutorial for that suspended book card I shared with you. I will be back next week for week 8 of the 12 weeks of Christmas. I hope you are able to join me then. I am going to be revisiting the Sweetest Star bundle. That's another project coming up. I also have Humble Home in the works for you. So going forward, we will have more 3D projects and home decor projects coming up. Reach out if you have any questions. Remember, be on my email list so that you can get the written tutorials for these projects. I thank you for joining me. I so appreciate you spending time with me. I would love it if you give me a thumbs up for the video. If you share it with someone to spread my community. Also, don't forget, if you came in late, you can click over to the YouTube channel, Just Stamp with Anna Marie. Re-watch the video at your own speed. Pause it whenever you need to. It's very flexible that way. All right, thank you for the comments, everyone. I'm glad that you enjoyed this project, that you like the project. I think it's super fun. You could expand it, make the wreath bigger. And again, use all the characters in the stamp set. Thanks for joining, everyone. See you soon.